Yeah.
It's a long way from
like if they come out of the hive and do cucumber plants, then the bee will just go around and do only cucumbers, and then it'll go back to the hive. And then
the next time they come out, they can do something else.
Next day they might come do something else.
So somebody kind of limited the knowledge there. Did you guys build a birdhouse?
That is actually a swarm trap, and I need to take it down.
Seems like they're all coming out more when we got here.
I know. Yeah, I see some bees coming back with pollen. Some have brought back water. See these guys here, well the girls. Yeah, these ones you can see they're sitting in front of the hive, flapping their wings. They're pulling air out. They're pulling air down and out to help ventilate the hive, evaporate water from the nectar they bring in.
Where do they get water from, Cody?
Well, they got a creek right over there. They use the water to cool the hive. What the bees do, they'll load up with water, and they'll come in, they'll spread it on the inside of the hive. It's like an evaporative cooling, like a swamp cooler. These are actually pretty good with that kind of thing. Let's see. Yes, and also they evaporate the water out of the nectar. It's the nectar from the flowers. Alright.
So Cody, can you talk about how you're not wearing a suit or anything and you're totally comfortable around the bees?
Oh yeah. Well, for one thing, these bees kind of know me. And second, bees in general aren't very aggressive. They actually don't want to sting, because if they sting, the stinger will get stuck and it rips their guts out and it kills them. So, stinging is a last resort for them.
So, if a bee were to land on one of us, what would be the best way to handle that?
I just shoo it off. You girls right here in the middle are actually kind of in their flight path. So you can see they're flying around you, but yeah, there you go. So you can see they come in just like airplanes coming into landing.
How do they know where they're going?
They use the sun and a very advanced system of navigation. They use landmarks. They also can tell each other using a mathematical language that they have, where they can actually tell each other how far to fly in a certain direction.
And how do they do that?
Well, they've got a waggle dance that they get on the frame, and they kind of walk in a specific direction, and they waggle, and for the amount of time they do that is the amount of time that they or the distance that they fly.
Did you guys know that bees communicate by dancing? Yeah, a lot of you guys. I think that is so rad.
Yeah, so, and us humans don't really understand it completely even. I think MIT figured out they use some fourth dimensional mathematics.
That's so interesting.
Bees are one of the smarter animals on the planet.
Did you already talk about what kind of bees are in the hive? So like.
Alright, so most of these that you see out here are workers. Workers basically do everything in the hive. They go forward for food.
Are they boys or are they girls or are they?
They're females, is right. There are male bees. We have one here. They're drones. Their only purpose is to mate with the queen. And usually they don't end up getting to do that. So I try to minimize the number of drones, but they're usually less than 1,000 in the hive at any time. So. And this hive has approximately 60,000 bees in here. I have here a few samples of bees. I want to pass them around. Got them labeled. They're not very good samples because they're kind of old, but take a look at them. How's this going? Alright, so the comb, most of the structure of the hive is built by the bees themselves out of wax. They make the wax by converting sugar, the carbohydrates into sugar, into hydrocarbons for wax. And they excrete it from a gland in their abdomen, and then they chew it up and they form it into a wax. This is what it looks like when it's new. It's kind of white and to a little off-white. And this is what you'd see with storing your honey in. And this darker comb is what happens after the bees have used it for a few years. And the baby bees have developed inside here, and the bees coat it with a propolis. It's a mixture of tree sap and honey. It makes a good kills bacteria, so good antibacterial. Also, the baby bees produce a cocoon, just like a butterfly. The caterpillar makes a cocoon. Bees do the same thing, except they do it inside the wax cells. So over time, it actually turns to like a waxy paper. It is. Look at these two. What else? The bee veil. This is just so if I'm pissing the bees off, which I might do today because I'm going to be taking some honey. Just keep them out of my face. When the bees trying to stop you, since they can only sting once, they want to make the most of it, so they try to go in your nose, your ears, your eyes. They like to go for your face, and they're attracted to your breath. So the best thing to do if bees are chasing you is just to kind of turn around and walk away a little ways and kind of slow your breathing, because they do focus in on your breath. And if you can put your hands up on your face, that usually stops them from getting at you. Probably won't have any problems with that now. If anyone would like, I do have some bee suits here.
Are you guys remembering these facts in case we play Family Feud with bees later?
Family Feud?
They just did this one competition when we learned about compost, where they get asked a question and they're competing crews, and whoever answers it first and hits the buzzer gets a point for their crew.
How can you tell the difference from the queen and the worker bee?
The queen's larger, and you notice her abdomen's longer. That queen is kind of old, and her ovaries is shrunk, and that's why she's in the jar. But
how do they make honey?
They take the nectar from flowers, and a bee will go visit thousands of flowers, pick up nectar. And a bee can fly back with more than its body weight in nectar, or about 70% of its body weight. You also see that they're coming in with pollen. They get the pollen from the flowers too. They bring it in.
Is that on purpose?
Yeah, they use the pollen for a protein source. Because honeybees, unlike wasps and other flying insects, they don't kill other bugs to get their food. They use the pollen from the flowers. But anyway, the nectar, they bring it in, and they put it in the cells. You can see the cells in that wax. They put it in there, and they evaporate it down. They fan it to help evaporate the water out. And once they get her down to about 18% water, then they'll seal it off. And it's just like canning. Like if you were canning food to preserve it, that's what bees do with nectar. And,
so if you took out all the honey, the hive would die, right?
It would. This here is the surplus supers. This is the honey that I get to have. And then down here, this is the honey they get to have, and this is their home where they got their baby bees. They need about 70 pounds of honey to survive the winter here. That's about one of these boxes full of honey. So basically, once they got this full, anything else they make, I can have. And they'll sit here and continue making it until there's no more flowers.
What if a wasp tries to get into their nest?
Usually they just kind of try to push it out, just keep it from coming in. If it actually gets in there, they'll ball up around it, and they'll vibrate their bodies to overheat it, and actually kill the wasp. They can sting it, but they try not to sting too much.
How much honey do you think you'll harvest today?
Well, it's hard to tell because I haven't actually put a scale on here, but each of these probably has about 2 gallons of honey. The honey weighs
Did we get to try some?
Oh yeah, we'll get some. A gallon of honey weighs 12 to 15 pounds.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Isn't it crazy that they make that much honey? Like, they had 70 to survive the winter, and then we get another like 30 pounds. Can you imagine making, like, your tiny little bee making that much stuff all day long?
How long do they survive?
During the summer when they're working, they basically get worked to death, and they may last only a couple of weeks. But during the winter when they're not doing a whole lot, they'll last for several months.
How do they die? Do they just like fall over because they are exhausted?
Usually they know when they're gonna die, and they'll actually leave the hive and go land out in the dirt.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Why do they leave?
Because they don't want to contaminate the hive with their dead body. Although if the bees do die inside the hive, then the other bees will take it and they'll carry it out.
Huh.
You can probably actually see here around the front of the hive there's a bunch of dead bees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Most of these are drones, because they're trying to kick the drones out now that there's not very many queens needing to be mated.
How often do the babies have?
Constantly. Because they have to replace all the workers that die.
And when they overwinter, how many of them die from the cold?
Oh, most of them, probably 80%. I mean, they do. The larger the hive is, the more bees that I begin with, the less that'll actually die off.
Hmm.
But they'll start with a big cluster about the size of a basketball, and then they'll slowly move throughout the hive. And then,
Where do they go? When it's about to hit winter.
what?
When it's about to hit winter, where do they go?
Oh, they stay right here. They hibernate inside the box. When bees, the other kinds of insects they'll dig into the ground or fly elsewhere, but honeybees are the only ones that store and maintain the same nest every year. Of course, there might be some weird insect that does, but anyway.
Cody, Betsy has a question.
What?
Do they eat?
What do they eat?
Yeah.
They eat honey.
Oh,
That's their food.
so they eat the honey all winter?
Yep. They store up the honey for winter. It's just like a bear storing fat.
And do you ever have to like replenish the hive after they all die in the winter, or do they just start breeding?
If everything goes well, they should just build up after the season, or in the beginning of the season they'll build up. The queen will start laying a whole bunch of eggs, and then they'll build up and they'll regenerate from their few bees, and they'll be able to replenish and have quite a few bees in just a short time. But these ones I didn't have to do anything to. They did pretty good. Alright. Move on the large end front. Nice job. What you got? Glasses. I am so getting LASIK as soon as I can afford it. Alright. Now, for my knife. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these boxes off here. You guys move down. There you go. Put this here. And I'm going to transfer the frames into this box. Stop my finger there. Okay. Alright, see this frame is not ready to be taken. What I'm going to do here is put this up on the hive. Probably should use this short one actually. The ones that aren't ready for to be harvested. I'm just going to take and put in there. Like that. And the ones that are, I'm going to shake the bees off into the box and transfer it over to here. It's not the right direction to build a comb, guys. Alright. Yeah, I could harvest that one. Give me some grass. Give me a little brush. One of you want to take this cover.
Oh, there's a bee on there.
And when I come by with a frame, kind of lift it off and let me put the frame in. Yeah, that way the bees don't get back into there. I probably should have took that other super off.
Are you taking from the one below that one as well?
Yeah. So I probably should have took it off, but it's alright. And look at that.
So do they kind of start from the center ones and work their way out?
They do. They start kind of in the middle of the box. As in nature, they build kind of in a ball shape. So they build kind of in the middle of the cavity and then extend it outwards. Yeah. It's almost inevitable that some of the bees will follow me over.
So when you are like taking them off of like what they're doing for their job inside here, do they just start doing a different job or?
Exactly. I mean, bees have been having beekeepers harvest them for so long that they almost know the drill. See, I shake it a little bit to see if the nectar's cured. If it is, I can go ahead and take it. That's over a gallon of honey there.
How do you extract it from the trays?
And I cut the tops off the cells and I spin it out with that spinner thing I got over there. Alright. You can probably go ahead and stop filming. Probably alright. I mean, if you want to do it with your camera. But, yeah.
Okay, so how do you stop it?
Just
Click it?
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, what I was just saying, for where the uncapping knife can't get into, I just use a fork to open them up. He's gonna like that fork afterwards. Alright, I got this. Uncapping knife should be warm by now. Tough to drop it into.
Yummy.
Yeah. Want to try some of this?
Is that the hot knife?
Yeah. Here. Go ahead and get some of that if you can.
What's the best way to get it? Just use your finger or?
Yeah, just take a chunk.
Do you use the beeswax for anything?
Oh yeah, you make candles and all kinds of stuff with it.
Would you like any? So you can eat this too?
Yeah. There you go.
Pretty good.
Just drop it in the extractor and get the nuts. This is where most of the contamination in the honey comes from, because these flakes will get into it. I filter them out later. Like some yet too. This one there. So you want to do bees, huh? Yeah.
Our
Why?
school has a beehive. I did this once.
It'd be cool to just have your own beehive, like in your backyard with a garden or something.
Yeah.
I'd recommend at least 2, because it's kind of hard to keep bees going, and if you don't know what's going on with what the hive should be, like there might be a problem and you don't realize it. Yeah, try to keep this balanced the best I can, but
Did you use the knife on that one?
yeah, I did a little bit. Alright, bees. Just kind of blow them off.
Would those be able to get back home? Like those ones? Those bees?
Yeah, they'll most likely find their way back. Right. Back. And then down. See, I'm actually going to get a lot of honey in this bucket here.
Yeah.
But it's easier to get out because you can just sit and let it drip into something else. I like using the knife because now it's perfectly straight. They'll fit in next to the other frames. I'm trying to think of how I can keep this thing balanced. I think the best way to go about this is put these 2 full frames in on either side of each other.
Does it just spin around and just all the honey comes out?
Yep.
Well, there's a bee.
Well, that's pretty full.
Yeah, these combs are kind of thick, so I'm actually going to be putting most of the honey in this bucket.
There's another bee in there. Is it alright?
I'm afraid he's kind of screwed.
He probably drowned in his food.
Yep. Take it back to the hive later. Other bees will clean it off.
Really?
Yeah.
They'll just be like, I'll help you out there.
Yep.
Like pizza delivery guy. Walks around with honey on him, people eat them.
Alright. Another full one. Put that across there. This one's kind of light, so let's.
How long it takes to get honey in right here?
How long does it take to get out of here?
Yeah.
Out of there?
Yeah.
It'll take a little while. that's what they look like before they've got anything on them.
Mm.
Is it just rubber or what?
It's plastic with wax sprayed onto it. I mean, the bees will make comb without anything, but that just makes them sort of
Straight?
Yep.
You can imagine how hard this would be if it was all crooked and squirrely.
Yeah.
I think I should go help it there, right? Is that right?
What?
It's-
Alright. She got the camera. This is probably going to be a boring video at this point because I'm just doing the same thing over and over. Alright, we got to run this.
So you can only fit like 4.
Yeah, it's a four frame extractor. I'm in there, ready to go. You can see I put the edge of this thing on there. It's got a little slot it goes in down the bottom. Alright. I want to start out as slow as I can at first. You can see the honey starting to fly out. It's probably all the faster I want to go, actually. Just let it run there for a little while. Go ahead and get a piece of this.
You turned it off.
I did.
Where do I take from?
Wow, that's so much honey. Oh, I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, come over here with the camera. Is it still filming?
Yeah.
Come look in here.
No, I was getting a shot of
You
that.
see all the honey hitting the side of there?
How do you get it off?
It'll just run down. First time I did this, I cranked it up, got it going. It looked awesome. It looked like a cotton candy spinner. Then I opened it, then I shut it off, and the combs were all smashed up against the side of the thing. You gotta start slow to get the honey out, but not destroy the combs.
How much does this thing cost?
I paid $150 for this, but I mean, 200 something would be what you'd probably get if you were to go look for one. What?
Can you do it by hand?
Yeah. In some of my other hives, you just
Or let it
it
drip?
basically looks like this, and then you just smash it. Let me look at these. Alright, not all the honey's out of the side, but now a lot of the weight of it is, so I just flip them around, get the other side. And I'll do this several times to make sure that they don't get too heavy on one side and break. There we go. No, don't tip over.
So you just smash this out?
Yeah.
And there's a bee in there trying to...
Yeah, they'll find it.
Help your friend!
I know.
You're a jerk.
Were you scared of bees? No.
Well,
I've had anything more courageous to do to offer this.
I don't like wasps. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, wasps are actually closer related to ants than bees.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you do this in stages? You do this and then you'll empty it out? It all catches the bottom?
Most of the uncapping. It'll take a while to do all these.
Yeah.
You can probably turn the camera off if you'd like. So that will... Alright, I got most of the honey. Probably got just a little bit more left. But you see here, the extractor's actually gotten quite full. See how it's starting to hit the honey down on the bottom? Starting to spin it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this extractor up on some blocks and drain most of it into a bucket. And then I'll continue and finish up with the rest I've got here. I think, yeah, I got a few of these frames that are like half full. So that's about it. And I'll come back when I get it on there. Alright, here we are. It's actually got suddenly heavy. So let's undo this. It just kind of wedges on actually. See, the original handle was broke, so I had to jerry-rig something. And I just open the gate valve. There it comes. Let it sit there for a little while. It comes out pretty slow. And if I had some bottles, I might could bottle it from the extractor. But since I got more to do, I'm just gonna let her sit there. And these frames are almost done. Almost. They're still a little wet. In fact, I might just leave them wet. But let's go ahead and spin them a little bit while they're on here. That'll help the honey come out at least. See how it's kind of pushing it? Speed it up. Now yeah, see I've got it up on these blocks, or soap boxes, and now it's really wobbly. So I probably can't go much faster than this. In fact, I probably should turn it off until I get this most of the way out. Alright. You can see my cappings. Probably got over a gallon sitting here in cappings. Remember I said those frames were thick, so I had to cut a lot off. But yeah, just mash this up a little bit and strain it. No problem. Alright. I think while I'm letting this go, I'm gonna go get a drink of water. And hopefully not too many bees come over here and find it. I've noticed that the number of bees coming over here is going up exponentially. Alright. Alright, it's kind of slowing down. There's still quite a bit in there. But you can see here, it's roping up down in there. I got that much of the bucket full. I tried to use a strainer earlier, see if I could catch all the larger bits, but it seemed kind of unnecessary to me. It was a little flimsy actually, and it kept trying to fall in the bucket. But anyway, it's pretty clean. There's no dead bees, just some wax cappings that'll float to the top in a few hours to a day. Yeah, I might try tipping this up to get the rest out, or I might just continue extracting. Yep. Alright, half here the bucket is full to there. I was trying to strain the cappings, but the thing fell in, so I figured I'd just put it all into one bucket and then just let it float up over the next week. You can see in here I'm just letting everything drip clean now. This one colander may need to be unplugged. Here we are. It's getting a lot of bees in it. Not a lot I can do about that. Alright, basically I'm going to be cleaning up. Alright, as you can see I brought the boxes back. All the frames are in them. And they're a lot straighter now. So hopefully when the bees put honey back in them, it'll be a little less stuff that I lose in the cappings. Yeah, I'm not gonna open them. There's a bee kind of trying to get me. Alright. So yeah, you can see I got this strap. All I gotta do is put this on. Right there. Alright. Yeah. Take my equipment home, clean it up, and I'm pretty much done here.